Mark.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Well, that kind of worked. We'll see.
We are back in the saddle.
What is this called?
AFKCast. Come on, man.
AFKcast. Thanks. I don't know. Welcome back to the. Well, not welcome back because you've never seen an episode of this because we've recorded multiple ones, but we haven't posted any of them. Welcome to. Well, not the older ones. They were awful. We're going way off track.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it back. No worries.
Let's bring it back to reality. There goes gravity. I'm Shawn.
I am Brendon.
That is Brendon. And this is the AFKcast. It's had a couple different iterations over never having been posted. One time we went for 2 hours.
Yes, we did.
One time we went for an hour, and now we're going to try and bring it down to 30 minutes. We're going to try and just keep it tight, keep it good.
Yeah, we'll get a good thing going.
30, 40 minutes, somewhere around there. My plan is for us to cover one big topic and then two smaller topics every time.
That sounds good.
So let's just start. And our big topic this week is Bohemian Rhapsody because we've both seen the movie.
Yes.
You've only seen it once. I've only seen it once.
Yeah. I mean, I think once you've seen it once, I'd
see it again.
Oh, I'd totally go see it again.
Here's the thing.
Without a doubt.
There's so many other things coming out right this second. I've got to mute Discord. I've got to go on Do Not Disturb. There's so many other things going on, and that's why I don't think I'd go see it again in theaters right this second.
Right.
Like, there's other things coming out I want to see. So let's just, really quick, do you want to start by giving, do you want to go in depth first, and then we'll give it a roundabout score at the end, or do you want to do a roundabout score at the beginning and then go in depth? How do you...
I think we can start out... Let's just kind of start out with our initial reactions to the film and what we thought about it, then we can get a little more in detail, and then at the end, once we kind of have our ideas out there, give it a good score.
Okay. Well, do you want to go first, or...?
Sure. I loved it. I thought it was very well done. Rami Malek, I always mess his name up.
I think it's Rami Malek.
Yeah, I think it is Rami. Does a phenomenal job portraying Freddie Mercury. I mean, down to just the movements when he's on stage and just the little ticks and everything. It's almost
the best part.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can put it on the same sort of spectrum when Heath Ledger played the Joker, just like the little ticks and the little nicks and stuff that he does as the role.
Acting.
Yeah, the acting, basically, yeah. But it's
the acting he does.
Because you can say that about anybody. It's the acting was great. But when you get down to the very little details,
he became Freddie Mercury.
He became Freddie Mercury, and it was just incredible, absolutely incredible. I mean, and the fact
enthralling to watch,
very enthralling
to watch him move.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, to watch him move, to watch him perform on stage. And, and it was a pretty big thing for him because most of the music in that movie was actually him singing, which...
So, I remember hearing that. I don't actually know what they did, but I've heard that it's mixes. So there's a guy on YouTube who's a fantastic Freddie Mercury impersonator. I'll find a link to him later and send it to you. But he does songs, and he does he's part of a Queen, what are those band? Yeah, tribute band, that's it. They recorded him, they recorded Rami, and they used recordings of Freddie. And they mixed all those together. And those are the three, and that's how they got the sound for the movie.
That's cool. That's
what I've heard. Right. I don't know if they've come out and said exactly. I think that's just taken from little interviews and what people have said.
I know for the Live Aid sequence, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was actual recorded audio from when Queen performed at Live Aid. I'm not 100% sure, like I said. I'd have to double check that. I think it was a mix. There was actually a thing I just saw not too long ago. I just read it. They had this website or whatever you could go to. I forget what the name of it was. If I find it, I'll bring it up again. But what they did was when they were producing the movie was people, thousands of people submitted them singing
singing along
Bohemian Rhapsody, and what they did was they mixed thousands of these and put them in, so to get the audio of the crowd singing while they were doing the Live Aid sequence.
Singing
which I
along.
thought
That's
was
insane.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Because, and it mixed so well. The whole Live Aid sequence there, just right there near the end of the film, is just incredible. I mean, he just, they come out. I mean, and, like they said, oh, you only have like 20 minutes or whatever. They just come out, and I mean, they just rock the house. Everybody there is just listening along. And the scene there where they flash back to Mike Myers' character, and he's just sitting there in his office all disgruntled. They made a good point. He's like, you will be forever known as the man who, like, lost Queen. I mean, and look at them. They rocked the freaking house. They went on to be one of the most amazing, like, most influential bands of their time. Freddie Mercury was a legend in his own time. And
you're a legend, Fred.
Yes.
We're all legends. I loved that. I loved that scene.
That was nice, yeah. No, I definitely liked it. There were some things about the movie that I wasn't the biggest fan of.
Yeah, I had some issues.
I felt like at some points in time it was kind of a little rushed when they were filming it.
A little quick sometimes.
Yeah, it moved a little too quickly at times, but like once you kind of get right there at the end, it slows down and it's just like perfect. It's like, it kind of reaches that right tempo, no pun intended there, but it gets to like a good smooth surface there for the pacing. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, and they chose it a phenomenal cast. I mean, even the members of the band there in Queen look almost identical to the actual band members of Queen, and it's just incredible just to see.
They all look fantastic. The guy who plays Brian May looks exactly like Brian.
Exactly.
Like,
and
dead on.
Yeah, I loved it.
A little scary.
A little bit, yeah.
Looked dead on like Brian May.
Yeah, it was incredible. I absolutely loved it.
Live Aid. The Live Aid sequence at the end was fantastic.
Definitely.
Did they do the whole concert? Was it 20 minutes of Live Aid?
So I believe at Live Aid, because I remember in the movie, and I've read some things about Live Aid, I think it was like, because there were hundreds of bands that showed up. And so I think it's like each band went out and they did like 20 minutes, and then I think some of them went out and did like encores and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I was reading like a lot of reviews and stuff like that about it, and there were people, I was actually talking to my dad about it not too long ago, there were people who were saying that even if you're not a Queen fan, to go see this movie because of the movie is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. And
it is.
Yeah, and it's funny because when the first reviews for it came out on Rotten Tomatoes, it actually was not that impressive.
No, they weren't.
It was like a 51%. I mean, it's jumped up now to a 62%. In the
is that where it is right now?
Yeah, it's at 62%. The average rating is a 6.1 out of 10.
Oh, wait, what's the audience score?
93%.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely great. I think you should go see it. I do lean a little bit more towards the critics. I have some pretty big issues with it.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's worth seeing. My issues stem. My biggest issue is it lacked focus a little bit. It didn't seem to know if it wanted to be a Queen movie or a Freddie Mercury movie.
That was something I noticed too, because they seemed to do a bunch of cuts between Freddie and then the band, Freddie and the band. So it seemed like it flip-flopped a lot, which I wasn't a big fan of, but I know because when the movie was first coming out, it was supposed to be a movie about Freddie Mercury and his life.
Sacha Baron Cohen was going to play him.
Exactly, yeah. But then the remaining members of Queen were like, no, you got to make this about all of us, which in one sense I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of, I mean, I understand why they did it because, they were four guys, they were very close and, like they said, they were like a family. So, it would only be fair to make it about all of them. But then again, I think that really affected the overall performance of the film in general, just because, I feel it, like we said, it really flip-flops a lot. And there were a lot of things that were kind of felt a little lackluster. But, I mean, in the end, it does kind of meet in the middle, and I think it ends on a very good note.
The ending is beautiful. The ending, ends on We Are the Champions, and the four of them walking up on... spoilers, by the way. This is totally spoilers. We're going to go into this movie for the next however long. That was my main issue. My second issue wasn't really an issue. It was... The concert scenes are good. Yeah. But I had just seen A Star Is Born a couple weeks earlier, and A Star Is Born just has the best concert scenes of any movie I've ever seen. Yeah. So the concert scenes, excluding Live Aid, I think Live Aid was absolutely fantastic at the end. The concert scenes leading up to that kind of left a little bit to be desired from me.
Yeah.
Which was a little disappointing. And then, like you said, with the splitting of with the movie feeling like two different movies, there were times when I'd be like, okay, I want to get back to Freddie now, but they were focusing on the band. And there were times that Freddie, they'd move over to Freddie, and I'd think, well, you just set up something interesting with the band. Why don't you stick with that now?
Right.
And it didn't seem to know exactly what it wanted to do with its time all the time.
I feel like what they were trying to do, or what they were kind of struggling to do, was they so really wanted to push for that more of like a Freddie Mercury based film, but the combination of them trying to do that while also going with the direction of what the band wanted, it kind of caused for a bit of like a pile up there. So like once you're kind of getting towards like the midpoint of the film, it kind of caused a bit of like a backup and everything, and it's like okay, it's like this could be better.
I think we have to touch on it as well. It is. It's a movie. It's a film. It's a biopic.
Yeah,
but it has some historical inaccuracies in it, which was another big problem that people had with it. I didn't really have as much of a problem with it because I wasn't as well versed in the story of Queen, so I didn't really know what wasn't true.
One of the things a lot of people were upset with was the scene right before the Live Aid concert where they're rehearsing and he tells the band that he does have AIDS.
AIDS, yeah.
When they performed at Live Aid, Freddie Mercury actually had no idea he was, he had AIDS. He had no idea, so the band, nobody knew. But I think it was like after that, I'm not sure exactly when, but he found out after that he wound up being, he was positive with, HIV AIDS. So I know why they put it in the film like that, to help kind of build on it.
And they wanted to end it on Live Aid, which made sense. It's a powerful ending.
Oh, it's a very, very powerful ending because,
I was kind of tearing up during the Live Aid, just seeing him perform.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was a very emotional scene.
It's definitely the strongest part of the movie, is him getting diagnosed with HIV up until the movie ending at Live Aid. I think that was the best part of the movie.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the way they set it up, it really does give for like a really powerful ending, and I loved it. I thought it was the way they did it was very well. It just goes to show because it's like, he knows he doesn't have much time left, and like he says, he's like, I'm gonna do what I was born to do, be a performer.
Yeah.
And he's like, so it's kind of like this is like his big like, huzzah, like almost like his last hurrah, even though they released countless, songs and whatnot up until the point of his death.
Yeah. Because Queen never broke up, which was another thing that happened in the movie that didn't really ever happen in real life. Also, I do think that there was a slight issue, and this might be a molten hot take, as molten hot as my Krispy Kreme take.
Oh, geez, that's a different time.
They might have treated Freddie Mercury with a little bit of too much kids' gloves.
Yeah.
It felt like they were heavily trying to paint him as being a complete victim to, I can't think of that guy's name, but the other guy. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know who played
Paul.
him. Yes. Was that his name? The guy
the Irish guy, yeah.
While he was a negative influence on Freddie Mercury, in the end, the choices that Freddie Mercury made were his choices, and I think it was a little dangerous the way that it was painted as being him, making him entirely a victim, which I understand because it's supposed to be a more pleasing movie, and it's easier to do that when you have a villain in the form of Paul rather than having it be a darker movie, which would have been a darker movie if they would have gone a little more realistic with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not. None of this is enough to make me not.
His name,
enjoy the movie.
by the way, was Paul Prenter. Paul Prenter.
Okay.
Sorry.
Paul Prenter.
Yeah, Paul.
Who played
Prenter.
him? Do you have it up?
I can check.
I actually have it up. Let me look.
Yeah.
Paul Prenter. Alan Leach. I didn't know.
Alan Leach.
For some reason, did he remind you of when he was on screen? God, what's his name? He just got cast in The Mandalorian.
Is it No, it's not Pablo. It's something.
He's in Kingsman. He was the Viper of Dorne on Game of Thrones.
Not Pablo. Is it? Hold on.
Yeah, I gotta look it up. Kingsman 2. Come on, give me the cast. Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
I don't know. He looked like him for a little bit, but it wasn't him.
A little bit, yeah.
This guy. There's some. Just to touch on the cast really quick. Rami Malek, obviously fantastic. There's some pretty big actors in here.
Yeah.
John Deacon.
Mm-hmm.
No, not the guy who played John Deacon. That's not what I meant. I meant the guy who played Queen's manager. Do you know who that was?
Yeah, that's Aidan Gillen. He's Littlefinger.
Yeah, Littlefinger, and he's also. What's gonna happen if I take that mask off?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's there too.
It'll hurt.
There's
you
also
look like a big guy for you. Yeah.
There's Mike Myers is in that movie too.
Yes.
Which when I saw the cast, I was like, really? I was like, Mike Myers is in this movie? I was like, huh. And I was like, okay. So I was just looking, and I was like, wait a minute.
And also,
I didn't recognize this character.
One
when he
last
came
person. The lawyer.
Yeah.
The lawyer. That's Beckett from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep.
Which is cool.
And
so,
if I'm not mistaken, I believe his Freddie Mercury's love interest at the end of the movie there, if I'm not mistaken, is the same guy who plays Peter in Deadpool 2, if I'm not mistaken.
It looked just like him.
It looked very, very similar. I wasn't 100% sure. I heard somewhere that it was. I'd have to double check.
I kind of don't think it was.
I don't think it was
either. What was his name? He was
let's see.
Adam Lambert was in the movie.
Was he really?
He had a cameo. You know the truck driver in that one scene?
Oh, yeah.
That they kind of hit. Yeah, that was Adam Lambert. Which Adam Lambert.
Rob Delaney is his name.
Rob Delaney.
No, it is him. I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I thought the same exact thing.
It looks very similar.
Yeah, he's in Deadpool 2, but I don't think that's the same guy.
It looks very similar to him. Like you can look if you look at him.
Almost exactly, because I thought
almost
the exact
identical.
same
Yeah.
thing. What was his name in the movie, The Love Interest?
John something. Because remember, he's looking in the phone book, and there's like 100 of them, and then he goes, "You know how many John?"
Oh wait, no, it was Jim.
Name?
It was Jim. It was Jim Hutton.
Yes, Jim. Yes. So I think we've covered enough of it.
Sorry, Aaron McCusker was Jim Hutton,
but they look very
Shameless.
similar if you look at the two of them.
You are completely right.
Yeah.
So let's wrap this up. Let's give it a score. I'll go first since you started, and we'll say I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
I was gonna go like 7.58 out of 10. Only my score is gonna be a little more biased because I'm a huge Queen fan. I love Queen. I don't really listen to most modern music.
Yeah.
Unless it's Neil Ciceraga. But that's a different subject.
Wake up! Put on a little makeup! Okay.
But, I mean, this is like music I grew up with. You know, I grew up listening to Queen. I love Freddie Mercury. I love Queen, you know. Except I don't like Under Pressure, but that's for a different argument.
Oh, God, get out of here. Go away. Under Pressure.
And it's like, you know, I just love like 70s and like 80s music and everything.
Dude,
that's what I grew up with.
This soundtrack is all I've been listening to for the past 2 weeks.
Ever since I've seen it, I've just been listening to nonstop Queen. And I mean,
the soundtrack, if you haven't looked at it, I'd recommend because it's got the Live Aid
and I was listening
of
to
songs,
that.
which are the Live Aid version of Bohemian Rhapsody is maybe one of my favorite versions of that song. So I'm giving it a 7. What are you giving it?
I'd say like a 7.58. Just because, you know...
We'll say you give it an 8, and then I'll meet you in the middle, and as a show, we'll score it a 7.5.
That sounds good. That's a fair rating.
So I give it a 7, you give it an 8, we'll meet in the middle, and the show will rate it a 7.5 out of 10.
That's good. All right. So I guess shifting gears here, changing topics. Let's
hit Dumbo first.
Go right ahead.
Do that quick, and then that gives us more time for the Game Awards. There was a new Dumbo trailer last night. That'll date when we recorded this in case I upload this in like 4 weeks. But there was a Dumbo trailer. I'll try to upload it sooner than that. But it was I liked it. I dug it. This Dumbo movie looks weirdly awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting cast there because you have Eva Green, Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton.
Yes.
You got a pretty interesting cast.
And he kind of looks like a penguin in the movie too,
which is
Danny
ironic.
DeVito, which is ironic.
I think
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell,
fantastic. Yeah. So that trailer, spoilers for the trailer. I was watching it and I was like, okay, this is Tim Burton-esque, but it's a Disney movie. You know, so they're holding back. You can see it. Did you see in the trailer? There's a shot of Colin Farrell climbing up the side of a building or something, and he's just missing his arm, like his arm is gone.
Really?
Which losing an arm seems like a lot more than Disney would usually let you do for like a movie. I'm so excited. It seems like they're letting Tim Burton get as dark as you can get for what I assume is going to be a PG movie.
Yeah.
They might do PG-13, but I really doubt it. I don't know. What was Beauty and the Beast, and what have their other live action adaptations been rated?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm actually liking the direction
that was PG.
Of these live action Disney films. I mean, I know there are a lot of people that grew up with Disney films. I didn't.
Oh God. Matt and I.
But I'm really liking the direction of these live action films, just because of the fact that it's it's like a reimagined version of like that childhood classic film that everybody grew up with and knows. But they kind of, because now that a majority of the people that grew up with this movie, they can now go a little bit darker in the sense of like not really sugarcoating it for it's a kids movie. It's like they can show more of like, hey, you can see
that
what,
remake
like, really
for Beauty and
on.
the Beast was kind of dark in some areas. Like it was, if they can get as dark as that, maybe a little bit darker for Dumbo, I'm down with it. I thought the trailer looked fantastic. I'm very excited. It comes out March 29th, 2019. It's kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Because that's the end of March, and then beginning of March is Captain Marvel. And then 1 week after this movie comes out, Shazam comes out, and the Pet Sematary remake, and then Hellboy is the week after that.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks after that's Avengers 4. So there's no time for the box office for this thing.
Oh yeah, I was just watching through the Dumbo trailer again there, and I saw that scene where he's riding on the horse and he just doesn't have an arm. Yeah. What's going on with that?
So he doesn't have an arm there, or when he's climbing up the side of the building.
I noticed that in one part of it, it looks like he has a military uniform on, so it could be something like military-related injury or what have you. But
I thought he had both of his arms at that point. I thought
he would have.
I thought it looked like he lost it at some point in the movie, because there's a scene of him or maybe he goes to war in the middle of the movie.
Maybe.
Who knows? We don't know.
That trailer looks very good.
I'm very excited.
Oh, it looks good. I mean, and for me, not being like a huge fan of, Disney movies, like I said, I'm really liking this direction of making these live action adaptations and going kind of a little more in depth, if you will, and kind of
expanding on the story a bit more.
And I really am definitely interested in that. I know there's been lots of talk, and it's been kind of a bit of a rough patch almost for like the live action Mulan film. I would love to see that.
Which is weird because they're like taking out the songs.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Or something. They're doing something weird with it.
Well, I also know at one point in time when they were getting ready to do it, they were going to cast Jennifer Lawrence to play Mulan. But I mean, she turned it down.
No.
She's like, no.
Yeah, good. Don't do that.
Which I think would be really bad, because there's so many actresses they could choose to play Mulan. And if they're going to do something like that, I think they should choose somebody who is Asian. That would be perfect.
They've got a great cast. Donnie Yen's going to be in it.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed that what's his name isn't in it. It isn't going to be in the movie. What's the name of the dangerously close to getting bisexual character for Disney? Not like that's a bad thing. But like,
excuse me.
For the time, they wouldn't have. Li Shang.
Yes.
The guy.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Bisexual icon Li Shang.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. He's not in the movie.
Right.
They don't have him in the movie, which is disappointing because not only are we not getting music we're not getting Make a Man out of you.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, you can't really take that because one of the main key things of any Disney film is the music. I mean, it's like even me, somebody, you know, not a Disney fan or not the biggest Disney fan, I still know the songs.
Yeah.
I mean, and those are songs that people our generation know and love, and people of all, you know, even younger people, it's like everybody knows the Disney songs, so how are you going to make a live-action Disney film without the songs, without the music? That's like a huge chunk of the movie, but I'm hoping that when the time comes when they finally have everything figured out and it's all good to go, they'll, you know, it'll be good. So I got my hopes up for that.
Yeah. Well, I've got faith. So far, all of their live action movies for me almost have hit it off. I haven't seen Nutcracker yet. I want to. I've heard it's not that great, but
yeah,
that's a
I've
different
heard
discussion.
some mixed reviews about that too.
So I think it's safe to say we're both excited for Dumbo.
Yes, I'd definitely go see it.
Okay, so let's move on, and I'm gonna let you take the lead for this last segment because this was your topic.
Yeah. So I wanted to just talk about the Game Awards here because I know they're coming up pretty soon.
December 6th.
Yeah. So one thing that's definitely
what day is that?
I believe December 6th.
That's a Thursday.
Yeah. So which can you believe that's in 3 weeks?
No.
Time's just flying by.
Seriously.
So
Kingdom Hearts comes out in 74 days. Sorry, moving on. But that's gonna win all the awards in next year's Game Awards. Because
well,
that
definitely
game's gonna be fantastic.
Just because it's way overdue.
15 years. Don't worry about it.
But,
no, not 15.
So I was really interested because I saw the Game of the Year section. So they got some pretty big titles in there, you know. So number one, when you first go in there, you have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I never played Odyssey. I know.
Haven't played it yet. I want to play Origins first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really.
I still can't force my way through Origins.
Right, yeah. I like the older Assassin's Creed games personally. You know, I like the way of them, even though they were kind of like, from what I've heard from multiple people, is like they're very copy-paste games, but it worked. That's why they sold so well. Yeah. I'm not really liking the way they're moving forward with the new Assassin's.
With Origins and Odyssey?
Yeah, I don't like that. When I first started playing it, I mean, the game looks beautiful, don't get me wrong, but when I first started playing it, the combat system and everything was just very weird. I mean, the hidden blade in Odyssey, Origins, you don't get yet to unlock it, but you can only use it in certain areas. I just felt that was kind of like they're moving away from the traditional Assassin's Creed game, running along like the rooftops and dropping down with the hidden blade and assassinating people. And
I miss that. Now that I got this Spear of Leonidas thing, I'll pick it up when it goes on sale. Maybe if there's a good Black Friday sale coming up.
The one thing that would really interest me about Odyssey is I love Greek mythology and, like, you know, Roman mythology and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's kind of one thing I'd really like. But then again, it just doesn't seem like an Assassin's Creed game.
I'm right there with you. Yeah. For me.
So then, you know, next on there is Celeste. I
haven't played Celeste either. It was insanely well received.
Oh, that's what I heard. So we can just keep moving. God of War is on there. I never played it. I know you have.
I haven't beaten it yet. I'm still really very close to the beginning.
I want to play it. I mean, it looks so phenomenal. I've watched a lot of reviews and gameplay of it. I know it got praised very highly. And again, it's
it's very good.
Oh yeah, and the God of War series has always done very well.
Boy.
After that, we have Spider-Man, which both of us have played.
And beaten.
Yes, including the first DLC, which the next DLC comes out on the 20th.
It's very
which is
close.
Turf Wars. Yeah, so I am actually. That's what I voted for Spider-Man because of the games that are here in the Game of the Year section. We have Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead 2. I haven't played Red Dead 2, but I've seen a lot of gameplay and heard nothing but fantastic reviews about it. So if Spider-Man wasn't on that list, I would definitely have given my vote to Red Dead because I do probably think I'll pick it up. But I've heard it's incredible. But
Red Dead got my vote.
Oh, definitely.
Which was
Monster Hunter World.
I have played it.
I played. I know we both played it, but that's we're not going to talk about that. I played it more on PlayStation. It wasn't bad. I just wasn't really a big fan of like the combat style in it. I know it's more of like a Dark Souls-esque combat, which, I mean, you know me, I love Dark Souls, I love Bloodborne. Yeah. But this combat seemed very buggy, and the game just didn't really seem too well optimized. It seemed very laggy. I'm surprised it got put up on this list. It's up here quite a few times in the different categories, but I definitely have to say
it was really well received. People really seemed to like it. I didn't like it
because it adds. I mean, it completely expands on the normal Monster Hunter games, which I've played a few of them.
Yeah, it's completely different, isn't it?
It's completely
from like any of the
different.
other ones?
I mean, it's massive open world. There's a massive array of weapons you can use and everything. So,
sorry, I guess I looked at Steam to go look at Monster Hunter World again, and I saw Ni no Kuni 2, which is on Game of the Year. Not Game of the Year. It's on here somewhere though. I think it's on Best Art Direction.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But that's on sale for $30, so I might have to pick that up. Anyways, go on.
So moving down, the next section we got, there's Best Ongoing Game, which the first one on the list here is Forsaken, Destiny 2 Forsaken.
I think we can end it there. I think we can end it with Forsaken, because I think we both voted for that.
Yes, we did.
Let's run through the rest of these categories and say what we would have voted for.
So for Best Game Direction on there's A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead. I went with Spider-Man, being that, I didn't play any of these other games. I know, I'm going to guess it was probably a close one for you, because I think you've played actually every single one of the games.
I played every single one of these games. I didn't beat all of them.
I have a feeling you went with Detroit, because I know you really...
I actually went with A Way Out.
Really? Okay.
Detroit was really good. A Way Out was an experience I've never had in a video game before.
Yeah.
And it was... Or if I have had an experience like that, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
The split screen aspect of that game is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's a great story. I loved that game. I would have been okay with that being on the Game of the Year list.
Oh, definitely.
I think that was better than some of the games on the Game of the Year list, to be honest. But
I know, and what's actually funny is 3 of the games on Best Game Direction are PlayStation exclusives: Detroit, God of War, and Spider-Man.
Yeah. I was just looking at the next one. Best Narrative. I also have played all of those games.
Yes, you have. Again, I went with Spider-Man because it's the only one I played on here. But from what I've heard, the story for all of these games is phenomenal. I watched you were playing episode
Life is
1
Strange,
of Life is Strange.
Can't wait for episode 2. I'll stream it for you again.
Definitely. But then again, 3 of the games on there are still PlayStation exclusives.
It's hard for me to choose between Life is Strange 2 and Detroit. I think I'd have to go with Detroit just because Detroit's a complete game as of this point.
Exactly. I mean,
whereas Life is Strange 2 is only one episode.
Yeah, it's almost a little bit unfair to kind of put the two together just because Life is Strange still has the second episode coming out and Detroit Become Human has the full story, like you said. So, and it's funny because again, you go down to Best Art Direction and we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey again, God of War, Red Dead 2 again. Then there's Return of the Obra, and then there's also Octopath Traveler. I heard great things about both of those.
Best Art Direction?
Yeah, there's Best Art Direction there, yeah.
Didn't play Odyssey. I played God of War. Didn't play Octopath, although it looked fantastic.
Yeah,
Red Dead Redemption 2 is beautiful.
That's what I heard.
I think it's gotta go. I haven't played Return of the Obra Dinn yet.
Yeah.
It's sitting on my wish list on Steam. It's pretty high up there. Oh my god, that game is beautiful. I want to play it so bad.
Yeah.
The way that this is the same guy that made Papers, Please.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
The way it looks like a black and white comic book.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Way,
I saw some pictures and stuff of it.
It's kind of cel shaded, but not really.
Right.
It is beautiful. I love it so much. I would say definitely that one gets my vote for best art direction. Now we were talking about best score / music now.
Yeah, so best score / music. Let's see. There's Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath, and Red Dead. I believe for this one I actually went with Spider-Man again. I know my votes seem a little one-sided. Yeah. It's just because it's the only ones I've played, and I really love the Spider-Man for the Marvel Spider-Man PS4. The song they have in it, and the intro to it. Because I've seen.
I gotta go with Spider-Man as well.
Because I've seen so many videos. Like I've
played 3 of these. I played Red Dead, God of War, and Spider-Man. I'd gotta say Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, because I saw that edit somebody had made where it was the end of Homecoming, but with the Spider-Man PS4 music to it, and it's just beautifully written. So I really like that. Then best audio design, I actually went with. We're not
I can't believe Call of Duty is on this.
It's the only time it shows up anywhere on this list.
I don't understand because it really doesn't have great audio design. To be honest, the guns.
I actually chose Forza.
That's what I chose too.
Because the car sounds and everything in it, it's not the same.
I've played every game on this list.
Yeah, actually, I have except for Red Dead and God of War. Yeah. But Black Ops, I wouldn't really count it, and I also find it really ironic that it's the only time it's.
That's on that list.
I mean, it's presented by Dolby, but it's the only time it shows up anywhere on that list.
If they had a best multiplayer game, I feel like it should have been on there.
There is best multiplayer.
Is there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna have to keep going further. Okay.
So for best performance, I actually went with, God, I'm gonna mess up his last name, Yuri Lowenthal for Peter Parker as Spider-Man.
Just because Brian Deckard as Connor.
Yeah.
From Detroit. Oh God, him doing the flipping the coin.
Yeah. Just because I really loved the way that he really embodied Peter Parker to me. Like he captured what I would like envision him pretty much sounding like if there wasn't like a Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, or a Andrew Garfield that had played him. If we only got a voice, that's honestly what I would kind of envision Peter Parker sounding like.
Yeah,
and I think he did phenomenal.
He did.
Yeah.
Let's skip a couple. Let's go down to best action game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down there because nobody cares about mobile games. So best action game is the only other time that Call of Duty.
We're missing best indie game, but nobody cares.
I'm not a big indie game fan. I know there's a lot of awesome indie games that come out, and I've wanted to play a few of them. They look really good, but
I just don't have the time to play all of them
because
I play mostly.
I'm busier,
stuff.
Playing like these big AAA titles, which sucks because sometimes they're not the best. But
best action games, we got Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Dead Cells, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Far Cry 5, and Mega Man 11. Destiny 2 Forsaken is what I...
That's actually also what I voted for, only because I couldn't vote for Black Ops 4 because there are a lot of errors with it. I mean, it wouldn't have hurt my pride, but it's just... There's a lot of broken mechanics with that game, as there is with every Call of Duty game now, and... I mean,
it's hard when you can't hear.
It's going to get up there for best action game because that's literally what it is. It's just an action multiplayer FPS. That's all it is.
It's good, but Destiny 2 Forsaken's amazing.
I mean, I definitely had to give it to Forsaken, without a doubt, because I played it more. Forsaken's just been phenomenal. They keep expanding on it and adding to it, which is just phenomenal. Far Cry 5, I kind of wanted to vote for, but I haven't played it yet, so I can't give... a vote to something.
When it goes on sale, we got to get it for you.
Oh, definitely.
And then you and I can play it.
I'm definitely down to do that.
I got about a third of the way through it, and then I was like, I can't do this by myself. I need another. I need another person.
I played Far Cry 4, and I actually played it through and beat it 100%. I really liked Far Cry 4. I thought it was great. I didn't play Primal because it looked horrible, and I heard nothing but terrible reviews about Primal.
Checks out.
And a lot of people, and I agree with it, they should have made it an expansion. Or kind of like a small little game for like $10 you could play if you wanted to, because it didn't really do well.
Let's hit 2 more categories. Let's do Best Action Adventure, and we'll do Best RPG. On Best Action Adventure is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I really want to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Haven't played it.
I heard it was really good. I didn't play the first Tomb Raider game that they released. But I didn't
play that one or the second one.
But I heard it was really good because I know after the first one came out, they made the movie that didn't do very well.
Yeah. That was this year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So for Best Action and Adventure, I actually don't remember what I voted for.
I'm doing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, no, I went Spider-Man. That's what it was.
I know. Red Dead's just... Red Dead's fantastic.
See, I was a little bit on the fence about Red Dead, as we've talked about before, but it's like you and I know a bunch of people and I've seen a bunch of gameplay. It actually looks really good. So I think my arm's starting to get twisted a little bit there, and it's probably going to reach the point maybe on Black Friday to just go all the way and be like, all right, fine, I'll do it.
All right.
So for best role playing, actually, I voted for Monster Hunter only because it was the only one I played here on this list. And my thing was that I liked Monster Hunter and I really wanted to keep going with it, but the game it felt a little like it was just missing some key components. It just felt like it was lacking in some sense, so I couldn't love it, but I also couldn't, I don't hate it, but I also don't love it.
So, you know me, I'm a big RPG fan. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Especially I love JRPGs, and a lot of these on here, 3 of them are JRPGs. Would it surprise you if I said I didn't play a single game on this list? I did not play Dragon Quest XI. I played Monster Hunter World for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I didn't play Ni no Kuni 2. I didn't play Octopath or Pillars of Eternity 2.
Yeah.
I didn't play any of them.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Final Fantasy 15 should be on here. Because technically the Windows edition came out this year. Yeah. And that's good enough for me. I know the game's been out for a couple years.
I heard that game was really good. I've never played any of the Final Fantasy games. But I heard that game was pretty good.
I'm looking at all the games that came out this year to try and see if I can find anything that's better, RPG-wise. It's kind of been a weak year for RPGs.
A little bit, yeah.
To be honest.
So, just to kind of do like another brief rundown, there was Best Sports Racing, obviously voted for Forza. Best Multiplayer, I went with Forsaken.
Yeah,
I was actually torn between that and Sea of Thieves. Only because I actually really liked... I loved
Sea of Thieves. We gotta get in there again.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves is a really fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. The only problem was that it kind of ran out of content a little too quickly. I know they've added a new DLC and they've added a ton of stuff to it. I know they've added...
We just gotta get in there. We gotta get in there is what we gotta do.
I'm definitely... I mean, I still have it installed. It's updated. I just need to get back to playing it.
None of us played any student games, so let's just go right past that. Yeah. We didn't play that many indie games this year. Best esports game. I'm not a big esports fan. I'd have to say Overwatch though, because
that's actually that's what I voted for was Overwatch, because for me it was a little bit of a tear because I'm a big League fan. I like League and I like Overwatch, but I went with Overwatch just because I really enjoy Overwatch. I mean, I've actually been playing that game. I started on PlayStation. I started playing around like season 1. Kind of dropped off. I dropped off entirely for season 2, but I started playing on season 3 on PC, and I've been playing since season 3, and I really like Overwatch. It's a really fun game. Honestly, I'd have to say, I mean, with the exception of a few select characters, that's just because they're brand new. That's probably one of the more balanced games I've played, which is surprising. Yeah. Which I really enjoyed. League, I've been playing that for years. I know you can't stand that game. I enjoy it. It was good, but CSGO, that vote from mine was just thrown out the damn window. It was thrown out the window in a flaming suitcase because that game is just terrible.
This has never happened before in the history of Dota. Dota's also on the list.
I played Dota for 5 minutes and I left because it was boring. Fortnite also went out the window in the same flaming suitcase. So the only ones on here I would have voted for respectively were League or Overwatch.
I think with what Overwatch did this year with the Overwatch League, not even being a fan of any of the games on this list, I gotta give it to Overwatch.
Oh, definitely. The Overwatch League was phenomenal. I mean, at the halftime show for one of them, they had DJ Khaled come on. Which was just crazy.
It was insane. Nothing really else, none of the other category stuff. It's all a bunch of in-depth esports stuff that I can't talk about because I don't follow
enough
esports. About it.
The only ones on here that would stand out, London Spitfire was an Overwatch League team. They started out in the beginning of the season. They were a little bit of a rough patch, but they came in at the end and they just dominated. When I was still following it, I'm a big Soul Dynasty fan. So I was kind of going for them, but I mean, I'm not a big ESL. I don't watch esports that often. I know Astralis is a really good CS:GO team, and actually, funny enough, people when they're like, oh, gamers, esports or whatever, it's not that big of a deal. Well, Astralis is sponsored by Audi, and they give them free cars, but I think...
Holy shit, what?
Yeah, they are sponsored by Audi.
Another topic. I'm sorry. I used profanity, but I'm gonna wrap this up now. We're gonna move it along, and I'm gonna give you one last question to wrap this up. And it's the most important award on this list, ladies and gentlemen, Content Creator of the Year. Now, there's really only 2 contestants in this category. Dr. Disrespect should be in there, but he oofed himself, so he's not here. So, Brendan, I have one question for you. Ninja or Pokimane?
Well, I don't really watch either one of them.
Ninja or Pokimane? We've played with Ninja in Destiny.
Yes.
We see Ninja on the tower all the time.
Yes. I respectively...
You gotta choose one. We gotta vote to end this. Pokimane or Ninja?
Respectively, I would have to say Ninja's career has taken off exponentially. I mean, he's played Fortnite with Drake, Travis Scott, Juju Smith, who plays for the Steelers.
Didn't he just play it with somebody?
I mean, there was a
day?
stream.
Big?
There was, yeah. I mean, he plays with huge, big name people.
With Ellen.
Yeah, Ninja has definitely exploded and is just dominating across the board when it comes to like being a streamer. It's like people nowadays, it's like, oh, they're like, I want to be like Shroud or Dr. Disrespect or whatever. People are now, it's like Ninja.
Don't be like Dr. Disrespect.
Well, no, because don't cheat on your wife.
Yeah.
Then your house will get shot at. But
oh, that was too far though. That was bad. Yeah, I'd have to vote for Ninja as well. The dude,
I'd probably have to vote for Ninja.
Knows how to play the game.
Nothing personal against Pokimane. I've watched some of her stuff before. She's really good at making content and whatnot. It says Ninja. I mean, you just have to look at. You have to look at his success.
Not the video games, the game of success, and he's really good at it.
Without a doubt. I mean, he went from just streaming like H1Z1 stuff like that to now he's like one of the biggest streamers in the world. He broke Twitch records when he streamed with Drake and Travis Scott. He broke records. People donate to him. He makes so much money. I think it's like on average a month he makes I think at the least $500,000 a month. And
dude's a ledge.
I mean, he's definitely like literally a legend in his own time. I mean, it's just from him sitting behind a computer and playing Fortnite. And it's just crazy to think how quickly he just blew up. So I definitely have to go for Ninja.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to this. Although I doubt anybody's still listening.
Yeah.
I liked this version.
I did.
Just to peek behind the curtain a little bit at our production. This is my favorite go that we've had.
Definitely. It seems.
I really liked it.
It's our shortest one by far.
Yes. Yes. Very much so.
But I felt it went a lot better.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time. And
goodbye.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something witty to say. I'm gonna cut out all of this of me. Like trying to figure out something witty to say, and so that it'll just go
and it'll just go transition right in, look beautiful, nice.
It'll be beautiful. It'll be great. I just got to think of something good to say. Is the problem.
That's all, folks.